Hello everyone, we are back with our web development series, and today we will be seeing if statements, switch statements and various type of loops in JavaScript. Let's get started. Okay, so again we'll be using console to print the result, and as far as the lecture flow is concerned, we will be seeing in this order, like first we'll be seeing if statements, then switch statements, then for loop, while loop, and variations of for loops. Okay, so let's start with our simple if statement. Okay, so as you can see this function if1. Okay, so here I have used a random number generator that generates a number between 0 and 1. So suppose it generates a number less than 5.5. So this condition becomes true. And as we have seen logical operators in our last video, so yeah, so if this condition becomes true, then uh, this whatever is present inside this if statement that will get executed. Else, means if this condition becomes false, whatever is present inside this else block will get executed. Okay, so let's see the result. And since this random number generator will be generating random numbers every time, so yeah, sometimes this if condition will become true, and rest of the times this else condition will become true. So let's see. Yeah. So yeah, if the random number generated was less than zero point 0.5, and this was the number, so yeah, it got printed on our console, as you can see. Yeah. Then see, if again I try. Again, it generated a different number that's also less than zero point 0.5. Yeah, and this time it generated the number greater than zero point 0.5. So yes, you can see on the console. Now we will see if else if block. So what happens is, as we have seen, if this condition becomes true, this block gets executed. But Uh, what if I want to check for some other condition too? Apart from this condition, yeah, I want to check some other condition too, which is not equal to this condition, but may result in a different condition. Yeah, so you can see if day of a week is Monday, so this blocks get executed. But if I want to check for some other days, like day of a week is Saturday or Sunday, then this blocks get executed. Else, if a day of a week is Friday, then this block is executed. If none of the condition becomes true, if none of the if else if of if else later works, then this else at the end gets executed, and will get printed. And you can see I have used this prompt. Prompt is nothing but a window function of JavaScript. As you can see, it will ask for input from the user, and this function will convert it to the lowercase. Then one by one, these conditions will be matched, and wherever this condition inside if or else if gets matched, that console.log statement you can see will get printed. Okay, so see, this is the prompt, and if I enter over here, like Monday, yeah, so you can see this statement on console.log. Yeah, so this one got executed. Now, what if I type Friday over there, like you can see, yeah. So you can see I have been waiting for this whole week for this. Yeah, so this is executed. Now, what we'll be seeing is nested if else condition. So what nested if else condition is, if a statement or if else statement present inside if block or a else block. As you can see, this is our if outer if statement, and this is the else corresponding this outer statement. But now inside this if statement, we have another set of if else statement. So this is what nest if else is. Like now, I'll show you the demo for this. Yeah. So again, it asks for the prompt. Now I'll type password like ISTE. Yeah. So password too short must be 6+ characters. Now I'll type ISTE crypt. Yeah. As you can see, now it gave us alert valid password. So what happened is, see, if password length was greater than equal to 6, we came inside this if else if block, and then it checked for this condition. And see this, as we have seen this compares for equal value and equal type. So it gave valid password. Means this condition makes sure that it doesn't have any blank space like in the starting and all. So yeah, so you can just valid password got printed. And if there are spaces, then this error console.error message will get just like this. You can see. Yeah, if I mention over here and I'll write ISTV, with, yeah, password contains spaces and spaces are not means are not recommended to. Now next we'll be seeing if else with conditional operators. So let's see what these are. Yeah. So there can be various conditions inside if else, means there is no fixed number for this. If as many as conditions you want, you can have. So let's see the example. Like again in prompt, we'll ask for the age from the user and see if age is greater than equals to 0 and age is less than 5, or age is greater than equals to 65. Do this. So what happens is, uh, if this entire statement or this statement, either of these two becomes true, this block will get executed and this will be printed on our console. Now, similarly, if this condition and this condition, since we have logical AND, so both the conditions should be true for this block being executed. And the similar logic applies over here too. And if none of the above if else if condition gets executed, this else block will get executed, and this will you can see this message on our console. So let's try this. Yeah. So I'll type the age 40 and to learn JS. Too late to learn JS. You can see the message on the screen. If I enter some one, like you are either too young or too old to be here. You can see the messages corresponding to those if else conditions. Now, next thing that we'll be seeing is switch statement. So, what switch statements are? Generally, see, switch, whatever we did in if, we can, means whatever did in if, similar things can be done through switch also. What switch does is, it will take the choice from the user, and the based upon the choice given by the user, it will execute the cases. Means like if the choice given by the user is 0, this case will get executed. Similarly 1, 2, 3, and correspondingly. And if none of the choice matches with our case numbers, then what you do is you can also mention a default statement over here. So it's completely optional to have default statement. If none of the case runs, then this default statement gets executed. So let's see the switch statement. Yeah. So it will enter 2. So you can see the day according to you is Tuesday. Okay. And what if I mention something like 9, which is invalid value in our case? So yeah, you can see here, wrong choice. Did you read the prompt? You can see on the console the value. Okay. Now there is a thing that you need to keep in mind while using the switch statement. That is mentioning these break statement after every case. What happens is when you don't mention these break statement, uh, if this case 0 becomes true and you haven't mentioned break, so all the cases after this 0 will get executed until a break is encountered. Like you can see in our next example, uh, I haven't mentioned break in this case, nor here, nor here, nor here. So if I enter 0, this case will also get executed. This case also, case 2, case 3, case 4. And when it encounters a break, here it will stop. Okay, so we'll see this. Yeah. So if I mention 1 over here, you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 got executed till the first break is encountered. But whereas if I mention 5 and since break is present, so only this case will get executed. Mm, yeah, yeah, you can see only 5 is there on the console. Yeah, now thing that we'll be seeing are loops. So loops are the basically to avoid the repetition of a logic, repetitions of the thing. Like if I ask you to print number 1 to 10, instead of having 10 print statements, we know we can use a single loop which will automatically doing the stuff for us. Like I'll show you example. Like this is our for loop. So, like this, if you keep writing these numbers or printing these number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what if I ask you to print number up to 10 is to 5 or something? So it's practically impossible to have these many console.log statements. So to avoid this, we can use loops. Uh, so this is the basic syntax for the for loop. So what happens is, first we'll be initializing value, or initialization means from where you want to start your loop. Then there will be a condition check, means up till when this condition remains true, your loop will get executed. And after this, we have an increment operator. So after each iteration or after each time your for loop runs, the value of I will get incremented up till it becomes less, up till it becomes 10. As it becomes greater than 10, your loop will stop working. So let's see here. Yeah, you can see from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up till 10, it got printed on our console. Yeah. Now, we'll see this was in increasing order. Another thing you can do in a reverse order or a decrementing, we say decrementing for loop. So what we'll do is same initialization and same condition check. But here, what we'll be doing is we will be decrementing our values. So here I put I minus equals to 10. That means at after each time your for loop runs, the value of I will get reduced by 10. Okay. So let's see on our console. Yeah. So this was from the loop and this was from our decrementing 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 80. Every time the value got decremented by 10. Okay. So the next thing that we'll be seeing is the infinite loop. These conditions aren't much useful. Most of the times they will be causing trouble for you only. See, the thing, the most of the people make mistake while writing a decrementing loop. Since 90% of the cases we will be using incrementing loop, and in the 10% when you will be using these decrementing loop, so you'll put this wrong increment sign most of the times, and this will lead for an infinite loop. Like you can see, I is equals to 10, I is greater than equals to 0, I plus plus. So what is going to happen is, see, 10, yeah, 10 will get printed. Then, yeah, then will get incremented 11. Yeah, 11 is also greater than equals to 0. Again, 11 will be printed. Then 12, then 13, and so on. So loop will never get terminated. Yeah. So this is the case. But at one place, these infinite loop can be helpful, and that is when you don't know how much time you need to iterate. But certain means, but you have to put an break statement somewhere according to some condition where you are going to stop your loop. Otherwise, it would be useful. It would be useless to use this infinite loops. Okay. Now, next type of loop that we'll be seeing is while loop. While loop is also pretty simple and it's similar to the for loop. So let's see the syntax for the while loop. So yeah, here you have to do initialization outside the loop body. Then here will be the condition check and increment thing or a decrement thing will be present inside the loop. So yeah, here count is 0 and 0 is less than 10. This condition becomes true. Count is increased by 1. So count becomes 1 and count gets printed over here. So let's run and see. Yeah, you can see number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 over here. Okay, so now we'll see one more example here over here. See, I mentioned some const code ist. This const is here, so we can't change this code. Remember this. And now a simple prompt, as we have used earlier. And up till this guess means the value inserted in prompt doesn't becomes equals to this code. Uh, you'll keep getting this prompt. So basically, this will be, as I mentioned earlier, this will be an infinite loop, but there is a certain point where it will get terminated, and that point when this guess becomes equals to this value of code, that is ISTE. So let's run and see. Refresh it. Yeah, so now you see the guess the code. Yeah. So now I'll try entering some random stuff like script. We reached inside the while. Now again, I'll keep on uh, typing different values. The loop will keep on running infinite times, but when I put ISTE over here, loop gets terminated. See, it gave us alert that we are now outside a while loop and our loop got terminated. Now next we'll be in various variations of for loop. Uh, Two variations that we are gonna see is for in and for off. So let's see what they are. For off, this is the syntax const value of array. So whatever you mention over here should be iterable. So what I mean by iterable is on which you can apply loop or the values which are related to some index like of array or a list. So we'll see the output over here. Yeah, for of you can see 10, 20, and 30. So what have value this value once became 10, then 20, and then 30, and it got printed every time. Yeah, what? See, as you might be knowing about objects in JavaScript, it's very similar to the dictionaries in Python. This is the key, and this is the value associated to it. But our dictionary is not iterable, so definitely we are going to get error. If I try value of person, since these are not iterable, no, we can't put index to them, or we can't access through indexes these values. So we are gonna get error in this. Yeah, wait, I forgot to say. Yeah, you can see the error over here. Uncaught type person is not iterable. These are JavaScript objects are not iterable. You can see the error over here. Next thing that we'll be seeing is foreign statement. Foreign basically uh, is very similar in syntax to for of. Like here you will be mentioning in like here and in iterate to the property of object. So like I have shared over here a JavaScript object. So this is the value and this is the property associated to it. Or in another, you can say this is the key and this is the value associated to it. So let X in person. So X are these keys in mentioned in our JavaScript object. And if I want to know the values associated to key, I can do person of X. So what this will print is this will print key along the value associated to that key. So let's see on our console. Yeah, you can see this foreign. So F name is John, L name is Doe, means these are the keys and these are the values associated to those keys. Thank you. That's it. And in next lecture, we will further see some more important topics of JavaScript.